One of the best things about the Four Nations face-off, or the rumors that were heading up to the Four Nations face-off, is that we knew that teams were going to probably make moves. Okay? That's what I was really dialed in on. Now, to be honest, the Four Nation face-off has actually been really good, but we're still waiting on these moves to happen. Now, during the intermission of the Canada versus Finland, who Canada won, let's go, Elliot Friedman did touch on the fact that watch out for the next 2 days because we're probably going to see some moves, and I'm hoping a Canadian team makes a splash. In this video, we'll be touching on the Toronto Maple Leafs, because the Maple Leafs have their own issues. They've had a good season, I would say. Not a bad season. They've been a little bit weird. They were very good defensively to start the season. I personally believe that they've taken a little bit of a step back. I think that they need to continue to get better. Their goaltending has just been fantastic, and it's kind of covering up a lot of the warts in this team that Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz have just been unbelievable. But in my opinion, the most glaring things are depth and center depth. Their goaltending is good. We have two good goalies. I think they could probably use a bit of a blue liner as well. So now, we do have news coming out from Jonas Siegel that he is essentially going off saying that, the Maple Leafs need to make a splash here. Now, we know a bunch of different things. We know the Maple Leafs have a wish list of centers, and it just makes so much sense for them to make a trade right now. I am predicting in the next 2 days or 3, the Maple Leafs make a trade for a center. In the article that I was referring to, Jonas Siegel was arguing that the Maple Leafs need to make a impactful play. Okay, so that is something that I very much agree with. If you followed my opinion on the Maple Leafs for a while now, I do believe that the Maple Leafs need to make an impactful play. They need to make a play for a center that is going to make a difference, and not only a center, but in my opinion, a defenseman. He added in this article that he would be looking at Ryan O'Reilly and Colton Parayko. As you guys know, when the Maple Leafs did win their one singular round, Ryan O'Reilly was a big part of that. And I don't know if you guys have been watching the Four Nations face-off, but Colton Parayko has been fantastic. And honestly, he looked even better when he was fighting JT Miller. Just absolute domination, hilarious. I don't know why JT Miller took that fight, but whatever. Now, Jonas Siegel did admit in this article that there isn't necessarily much out there for the Leafs to pick from. A lot of teams are going to be looking at grabbing a center, which is, again, this is a very, very complex situation here where the prices are very high for centers. So you're going to see some prices go off here. And again, I always say it, if a team is willing to pay a price for a center, then that's what they are worth. It doesn't mean that, I understand the prices are terrible right now, but that's just what it is right now. Jonas Siegel in the article actually made another point that I really do think is a good quality point. He touched on the fact that the Leafs need to include Easton Cowan, Ben Danford, Fraser Minton, and their 2026 first-round pick. Let's remember, the Maple Leafs do not have a 2025 first-round pick. So if they're going to trade a first-round pick, they would have to go for the 2026. Mostly teams that are rebuilding are actually completely fine with getting that asset in 2026. 2026 will roll on. Before you even know it, you'll get that pick. So that makes a lot of sense from that perspective. Now, I know a lot of people and Leaf fans are going to raise their eyebrows when I say, wait, hold on, the Maple Leafs going after Easton Cowan or potentially trading him? Yes, absolutely, you need to consider this. If a team is willing to give you back a proper player, now, a proper player with term preferably. I want to be clear, I'm not an advocate for them getting rid of a player just for a UFA that's going to walk out the door. My analysis has been that if they're going to get rid of Easton Cowan, they need to do it for a player that they're going to get back and be able to keep around for a long time. If you don't do that, then you might as well just move on. Who cares, right? Now, if we can get a legitimate top 6 proper center, for, let's say, signed for 3 or 4 more seasons, Would you guys be willing to trade Easton Cowan? For me, I would. Now, we can debate what exactly that center would be, but you have to understand, I think Easton Cowan is going to be good, guys, but you just need to be able to move on from a player. You need to go for it, right? Ben Danford is another player that I'm not a huge fan of that draft pick. Maybe I'll end up being wrong. If you look at draft pick values, there's like maybe a 15 to 20% chance that he'll actually even turn into an NHL player. I very much do like Fraser Minton, but I still think the Maple Leafs need to consider this. You need to have a front up and go for it move. Same thing with a lot of other Canadian teams. I would go for it if I was the Winnipeg Jets. I would go for it if I was the Edmonton Oilers. A lot of these Canadian teams are pretty good, and at the end of the day, your fans are never going to regret good playoff memories, right? But what do you guys think? Would you be willing to trade Easton Cowan or any of these guys that Jonas Siegel mentions in this article? I personally used to be very conservative with the ability to trade players, but I have completely changed my opinion on this now. The Leafs have Austin Matthews for the next 4 seasons, I believe it is. They need to say, okay, we have to go for it. You have your window. I understand that the Maple Leafs have not had a lot of playoff success, but at the end of the day, you're hoping that that just fixes themselves this year. Right now, when it comes to Mitch Marner, we don't even know if the Maple Leafs are even going to re-sign him. We got rumors here that they're not even really that close from what Darren Dreger and Elliot Friedman are saying right now. Like really, really weird rumors. The Leafs aren't even that close with them. And it's like, are they going to keep it? Or do the Maple Leafs go after somebody like a Mikko Rantanen possibly? That could also be possible, right? Obviously it seems that they're going to definitely re-sign John Tavares. That seems like something that's definitely going to happen. We look like we have a 3-year deal locked in for Johnny T, so we'll see where that goes. Anyways, I am going to leave the video there. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And make sure to have a great day, guys. Goodbye.